Good morning. Welcome to another edition of what is this? Trash talk? Oh
I
yeah.
guess.
I can tell.
I
Just look over my shoulder. And well, glad to have you with us again. We are extremely proud to be sponsored by two great gentlemen. One of them is Irving Chung, who is a franchise consultant. You can reach him at bigconsideration.com. If you've ever had a question about, you know what, maybe I'd like to have a franchise, it costs zero to give Irving a call and say, hey, is it possible? Can I get into a franchise for little dollars? Do I have to go for a Chick-fil-A? Nope. There's all kinds of franchises. You'd be really surprised. Contact Irving Chung at bigconsideration.com. And then after you talk to him, go over to Patriot Sandwich Company, right? And see our folks over at Patriot Sandwich Company, David Jordan and his group. They they got great stuff, don't they, Brandon?
Oh, great stuff. Yeah, these guys, great stuff. I mean, I'm still excited about Irving. I mean, this is what a great opportunity for many people, especially in this day and age when some people have had to change careers and options. What a great opportunity to find out some information, and then you pair that with David Jordan. Yeah, this is very exciting. Two great businesses. Very excited to support those people.
And one thing we are so proud of is that both of them are working with our veterans. David Jordan, percentage of his sales goes to We Got Your Six Foundation helping veterans. And if you call Irving Chung to ask about a franchise, if you're a veteran or a patriot, let him know because it may be worth your while.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Check
Let him
both of
know
them.
because he's there to help. He's got all the connections. He understands the ins and outs. Give him a call.
Yep. I see you got the open road behind you.
Yeah, I wish I was there. I'm thinking because in a couple of weeks I'm going back to Michigan. I mean, I'm not driving, so it's not really a road trip, so to speak. It's more of an air trip. Um, but I've been thinking about it. I don't know, it just reminded me of some of the road tripping days. Which I love to do, even if it's just those day trips.
Right,
I
right.
love those. Yeah,
And
it's good.
and and you said exactly right. In our heyday, when we were in business, it was if you had to go on a business trip, you had to fly there, do your business, and fly home. I'm retired now. I've never really enjoyed flying. I will drive anywhere when if I can. Uh,
Yeah.
most recently, just went back to Chicago. You take a two day drive up and a 2 day drive back. You stay overnight someplace, and I really love it, and especially when I grew up, my dad used to close the business down and pack us all up in the station wagon, like what was the show with Dan Aykroyd? No, not Dan Aykroyd. Chevy Chase, where he
Oh,
went out to
like the vacations,
yeah,
National
went to
Lampoons.
Wally
Yeah.
World.
Yeah.
That truckster that he drove, that was pretty similar to the station wagon my dad had. But he'd pack the four of us up in the station wagon, and we would go to a different part of the country. So
Yeah.
I have seen most of the states from the road. And I'll tell you, if you've grown up in the Midwest in a city, and then you drive up out to Montana in Utah, you're absolutely amazed. That's what road trips are all about. If you got the time to do it, but you mentioned earlier, you could just go an hour away from wherever you live and find some place that's pretty cool.
And that's just been the coolest thing. And I've talked about it before. That's what I did over last summer. Luke and I went to a lot of national or not national state parks
Right.
that I didn't even know about. Different places of Texas I didn't know about. 2 hours away, an hour and a half away, 3 hours away. We spent the night. We got a cabin. Um, but and that's just a couple. You could go one day. You could go 2 days. It's a small. It doesn't have to be a big road trip, but I used to love doing road trips. I mean, I probably appreciate them more now that I'm older than I did when I was a kid, but I love it. I miss the road trip days. Hey, let's drive down to, I don't know. We used to just drive to Chicago because it's only a couple hours away. but we would just drive anywhere. Hey, there's a show, there's a wrestling show in Ohio. Okay, let's go to the end of Ohio. We used to road trip every year to Steubenville, Ohio for the Dean Martin Festival. Okay. Yeah, it's awesome. And
How cool is that?
yeah, it was so cool because that's his hometown, Steubenville, Ohio. So we would go, me and my buddies would road trip to Steubenville. It's right by the Ohio, like Pennsylvania border. So it's a little bit different looking Ohio because you got some mountain areas and really nice. Pittsburgh's not too far away, so you can go to Pittsburgh. It's a small town, real small town. Couple bars there, great people. I still talk to some of the people in Steubenville on my Facebook. Like we just became buddies. And it was the Dean Martin Festival, and everybody's there drinking, celebrating Dean. You know, it's a cool road trip.
Everybody loves somebody sometime.
I got to meet his daughter. It was very cool, man. Very cool. You know, I felt at home there. You know,
and the fun, one of the fun things about road trips too is, you know, and take it from both of us personally. Forget about the McDonald's and the Burger Kings and stuff like that. Go into these small towns where they got a diner and sit down, and you'll get an appetizer and your meal and a drink and dessert and everything, and they hand you a bill for like $4.50.
It's the greatest thing ever. And the food is phenomenal. Like if you see a diner connected to a gas station, go there. Go there.
And especially if you see an 18-wheeler in the parking lot, you know the food is good because truckers always know the best places along the highway to stop.
Yeah, and you get to take a break and soak it all in. You know what I mean? Like, so Luke and I, again, we were coming back from I have no idea what part of Texas, I don't remember, but it was like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, and we were on our way back. We had spent the night. We stopped in this small town. God, I wish I could remember what that town was. I'm just getting old. And we stopped in a small town. They had a diner, a very cool town. I'll think of it, and then I'll probably remind everybody of it. This
Either this show or the next one.
Yeah, probably. This lady has owned it, I mean, for years. And she's probably, I don't know, 65, 70 years old. Luke and I sat outside. It was her and her son was cooking. And I got a patty melt. Oh my God. And he got a grilled cheese. And like, we just had a blast. And I think it was like $8.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only that, but you sit there and you're eating your patty melt and he's eating his grilled cheese. And then the cook comes out and sits down with a cup of coffee and talks to you.
That's it.
So where are you folks heading?
That's it. We talked to her. I said, if I ever drive through, because we're probably going to go back to this state park again. If I ever come through, I'm going to stop here because she was so nice. Her son was awesome. And she told me the history of the town. And I mean, it was a cool, and Luke was just loving it. And he could care less about the history of the town, but he was loving it because she was talking to him. Like, you don't get that at a McDonald's. Hell, you can't even get a straw at a McDonald's half the time. So
that's right. And most of these diners, you know, they're family owned and operated. They love to have your business.
Yeah,
I love to give them that business, and they take the time. It's not hurry up and gotta turn those tables and everything. Do yourself a favor, sit on some of those old mushroom stools at the counter. Have your food, or order an old fashioned milkshake that's about 1.5 feet tall and takes forever to finish. You know those. Yeah. Man, those any of those little towns that have a town square. Usually right down the street from the cafe shop, there's a candy store, and you can go in and get
good times. And get a cup of coffee there too, because for some reason, diner coffee, even though it's regular coffee, it's the best coffee.
Not only that, but they serve it in those old china cups.
I love it.
That have had coffee in them for the last 40 years, so they're seasoned.
They're seasoned. It's like a cast iron skillet,
Yeah, you don't sit down and get your coffee in a styrofoam cup.
No, if they serve me styrofoam cup, I'm out. I'm done. I'm leaving. Don't give me a styrofoam.
And you ever notice when you go on the road trips and you stop at those diners, you take 2 sips of your coffee, and that waitress is back there to refill your cup right away.
It's always fresh.
Yeah.
It's never 7-Eleven gas station fried coffee. It's always fresh. Darlene is coming with the coffee. I don't know. It's great. I
You know what
love it.
reminds me of that old show, Flow?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. What was that? Is that the name of the show?
Uh,
I
wasn't
know I
it?
can picture her face right now.
Yeah.
Funny show.
Uh,
Dang.
no,
Alice.
Alice, Alice,
Yeah, and I picture the cook in the back.
and Mel was
Mel,
the
yeah.
cook. You know,
I, that's
just
what it's like. It's exact.
always saw him, looking over the grill, and he had his spatula in his hand.
Yeah,
And
he'd look out the window and
those,
throw the tickets. And
yeah, those are the places that you want to visit when you go on road trips. And and we mentioned too, you can go on road trips for a week or two and all, but if you just wherever you live, if you're watching this from a big city or from a little country,
yeah,
Google farms. There are usually a lot of farms that are open either all the time or just on the weekends to bring the kids over and pet the animals at the farm. Go ride, put your kid on a horse, or you go riding horses through forest preserves and stuff like that. They're all over the country, and they're a half hour, an hour, hour and a half from your home,
that's
and
it.
it's like going to another country.
Well, you sent me that. You sent me a list a while ago of different places, like I call them zoos, but farms and stuff that some of them I've gone to, but others I never heard of to take Luke. And I'm already plotting our summertime where we're going to go because it's a cool experience. Like there's one just about an hour from us. I'm like, dude, let's go for the day. Like that's a fun thing to do, you know?
Yeah, there are even rescue shelters for dogs that you can go visit. Not
Yeah.
not the little local shelter, but I'm saying where the like
Real.
for instance near us they have shelters where they have rescue horses, sheep, all kinds of things, not just dogs and cats and all. But they loved when the kids come in and interact with these animals. It's a good benefit for both of them.
It is, yeah, and you're doing something fun. You're teaching. If you go with yourself, that's great. If you go with your family and friends or kids, you're teaching them something good. You're supporting local in some aspect. I'm definitely going to do road trips more. When he gets a little bit older, I'll drive more. Really, it's about the car situation. I don't want to take my car to the gas station these days, let alone on a road trip. But when I get a new car or whatever, I'm going to road trip for sure. I love it. I love road trips.
As something else that I've never done as a road trip is by bus to get on a bus and go someplace.
I did a bus from Detroit to Chicago. I think it was the big yellow bus. It was like $24. That was it.
Yeah,
And it
but
was cool.
they
It
had
was cool.
Greyhound and Trailways, and they have really improved the bus experience where they've got snack bars and everything in the buses. They've got restrooms, accommodations. They stop every few hours, and if you're going and there are sights to see on the highway, they'll pull over to vistas and things for you to see. So that and also I would really love to take an Amtrak train someplace through the mountains or whatever and experience that.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to do it and take a train and through something that I can look at. That's the mountains or there's this train in Canada that we went on a
The
long time
Trans
ago.
Canada
Yeah,
goes along the
that's
Trans Canada Highway.
cool.
Yeah, through the Canadian Rockies. They say that's absolutely beautiful, awesome, and I understand the food is amazing on those trains too.
Well, and you got to look at it like, again, sometimes you just have to fly. Like, okay, we're going to Michigan. I don't have the luxury of taking, 4 days to 2 days there, 2 days. If I was by myself, I could do it in one day, just drive. But
Yeah,
I don't have that luxury. So I'm going to fly, get there in a couple hours, be done with it. And we know sometimes you have to, but I think a lot of times if we would just take those small road trips, like you said, like, you know, here in Texas, Austin is only 4 hours from here, 3.5 hours
right.
from here.
You
Or
can be in the Gulf
go
in what about 5.5 hours? You can be in the Gulf down in
I'm going with a
Galveston.
couple friends. We were supposed to go last summer, but obviously everything stopped. we're going this summer. We're going to Lukenbach. We're going to finally go to Lukenbach and check out, the Lukenbach scene where it's just, it's a famous town, obviously. I mean, if you guys know Lukenbach, Texas, you know what it's about. And we're going to road trip down there. I mean, you got to explore and see the country for real.
And I will tell you that one thing that everybody should experience at some time in their life, put it on your bucket list, is it's choppy today, but Route 66 from Chicago all the way down to Southern California where does it end in? Where does Route 66 end in California? I don't remember, but I will tell you that the stretch from California to Oklahoma City, it's broken up. There are areas where Highway 40 just takes over, and maybe there's a historic monument, but a lot of the old towns that were on Route 66 are gone. At the entrance to the Grand Canyon, Winslow, Arizona, is on Route 66.
Okay.
Got some great places to visit. You talk about the old-fashioned cafes and gift shops and all that. But the stretch from Oklahoma City to Chicago, when you go through old Missouri, Route 66 is just a traveler's paradise. There is all kinds of stuff to see from the old Route 66.
My Uncle Dennis does that, or did it, or does it. I always see on his Facebook, he's got a whole, photo album of all his Route 66 stops. He's into that sort of thing. So
it's cool. And right over your shoulder to drive through places like Joshua Tree National Park, and some of our great national parks, is a great experience. And then you experience a lot of those little small towns along the way.
Well, that's the thing too. You see and you see things on the road that you're not going to see when you're in an airplane. Besides sights and monuments, like you never know what animals you're going to run across, what kind of weird UFO sightings. I don't know.
When you drive into the city, you can see great sights like the one behind me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in an airplane, how could you never be able to see that and smell the city?
Right. You gotta drive the streets and even the alleyways to see sights like this.
I mean, you can't see the big sewer rats from the sky. Come on.
That's right. You got to see them up close and personal.
Yeah.
And get out that camera and take those.
Take that camera, man. Take that selfie with that sewer rat.
Get that selfie.
I mean, if you can't find a homeless man peeing on the park, I mean, what are you gonna do?
I mean, those are memories, folks.
Memories. Christmas cards, future Christmas cards.
Right. I mean, and you can even do things like going up to the top of the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
The top of the Hancock in Chicago. And
we went to the Hancock in Chicago about, I don't remember. And it was really cool because they changed it. I hadn't gone since they had the sky ledge,
Right.
And so that's creepy, by the way. But, you're sitting on the glass and you're looking down going, am I floating?
I could not do that. And I have seen the photos. In the Grand Canyon, they have that glass shelf that extends out over the canyon.
I want to do that.
You walk out there and just look down. I mean, I have enough trouble looking at the floor from a step stool. So
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to post that picture on Instagram or whatever of me sitting there from a few years ago, and I got the clouds underneath my butt. That was great, man. That was cool.
No, I can't even look out of a glass elevator. I have to face the door.
Well, you think about it, I mean, and you fall and it's done. You're over. That's it. That's all she wrote.
And they build those things to give you the impression of maybe free falling.
Yeah, I know. Like, cause I was laying down on it and I'm looking and I'm like, this is nuts, man.
That what was that phrase I heard once? It said that if at first you don't succeed, skydiving is probably not your sport.
Hey, That's something that I would love to go back and do again. I went one time, and I'd love to
Skydiving?
do. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Did you ever go bungee jumping?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Did
mean
bungee
there are
jumping.
people that will travel all over the country. We were talking about the national parks that go to these gorges and all where they have bungee jumping just to experience it from river to river over the Colorado River and all that kind of stuff. Again, not
I
not
don't
on
think
my
I'll do
not
it
on my
now.
watch.
I mean, this was probably 10 years ago when I did it. Um, I wouldn't do it now. God forbid something happens and then Luke's screwed, So
We give it a few years, and it's going to be Luke that's going to say, "Hey, Dad, come on, let's go bungee jumping."
we went with a bunch of bartenders and we set up a bar for when we landed. So we all went, and then afterwards we drank.
But that road tripping. I mean that's get it on your bucket list. It's great. Even short
Short
trips,
trips.
especially the short trips. You don't
Yeah.
have to go from here from Texas to San Francisco or from here to Maine unless you got the time to do it. And then I encourage it. But otherwise, like Brandon said, 1 hour, 2 hours away. Go out, drive for a couple hours, stop, see something, get something to eat at a local cafe, get back in the car, and you're home before dinner time.
That's it. I mean, experience something, soak it in. Take this opportunity. Even if if you don't want to go with people, go by yourself. Get out of the house, do something, and just road trip. It's a good experience. It's healthy.
And if you go into one of those cafes, it'll sit on one of those old mushroom stools at the counter, and order that chili dog that will
Yeah,
just absolutely melt in your mouth, and enjoy the experience.
absolutely.
And tell Flo we said hello.
Tell her we'll be back. As soon
And
as I think of that place,
yeah,
tell her we'll be
and
back.
kiss my grits. Jesus. And then come back and join us again next week for another edition of What Are We Trash Talk.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
You've been sipping your coffee. I got to go grab my cup. So
I'm always sipping coffee.
all right, go out and make it a good one, and join us again next week for more trash talk.
See you
Bye.
guys.